So I'm going to be doing some animation in between working on this long animation that you have seen posted a while ago. That's only a snippet of it. I honestly hope that this will turn into the pilot for a TV show. I'm working on a lot of this on my own, and a long video like this takes a long time, even with an animation team, which I don't have. I will be doing some of these animated versions of written reviews for cartoons that I have on my DeviantArt, which I'm linking in the description below. Since I also draw a lot, but some are just gonna be short animated skits or whatever I feel like doing. This is gonna be my first review, and I'm ignoring my previous videos that I deleted and set on fire because fuck the art in that. It was before I discovered the pen tool in Photoshop. This is gonna be the video version of a review I did on the Star Wars The Clone Wars cartoon. No, not that one. I'm talking about the first one. And I'll get to the second one in a bit. Just don't expect any of these to be consistent because I don't really need YouTube as a career, and I'm just doing this because I got nothing better to do since I am a freaking shut-in with literally no social life at all. I love Star Wars. I can't stress this enough. I love Star Wars. I watch the cartoons more than the actual movies, to be completely honest, but I love everything that's Star Wars related. For me personally, it's a toss-up between the 3D Clone Wars cartoon and Rebels for which one I like more, but I'm going to be talking about this because this is the first Star Wars cartoon, and I'm ignoring the ones from the original series because I don't like 80s animation all that much, and I refuse to talk about Droids and Ewoks because they're just so bizarre, to say the least. Yeah, I was about 6 or 7 when this cartoon came out. The 2D show that came out between Attack of the Clones and tied everything together for Revenge of the Sith, which I have vague memories of seeing in theaters a very long time ago. This show was created by Samurai Jack creator Genndy Tartakovsky, and it shows because he has a very distinct style. I like this show, but it has problems. The episodes are very short because this was a micro series, not a mini series like Over the Garden Wall, a micro series. And there's very little explanation going on, which doesn't work for a lore heavy franchise like Star Wars. I mean, sure, the originals didn't really explain a lot of stuff, like what was a hut. You just had to guess what that was until Return of the Jedi came out. But seriously, this franchise even explains that there are multiple Force religions, goes into detail on where the Jedi and the Sith came from, and multiple conflicts that happened thousands of years ago to tens of thousands of years ago. Yeah, this has a very rich history for a franchise, to say the least. This show, honestly, is like if you took Samurai Jack and then you took Star Wars and smushed them together into a one weird, nebulous mess. This show is dripping with atmosphere, to say the least. There's a lot of long pauses in between the dialogue, and the fights are epic, to say the least. But it's not the kind of action that fits with Star Wars. It fits better with Samurai Jack with how over the top it is. Like, there is a scene where Mace Windu jumps literally miles, and it is just like, what the fuck am I watching right now? I mean, there is a bit of unrealisticness in Star Wars, like things living out in space and junk, but it still took itself somewhat seriously and is somewhat grounded in reality. I'm pretty sure it is physically impossible, even with the Force, to jump miles upon miles away. One thing that bugs me about this show is that there's no continuity, to say the least. Like, they just throw you into the action. Like, one moment you're with Kit Fisto on Mon Cala and they're fighting the Quarren, and then another second Yoda is riding on this goat deer thing and he's fighting things, and then yeah, it's just all over the place. It feels like it just feels really weird and not very cohesive. I mean, I know that the next Clone Wars cartoon was out of order chronologically, and but it's still it was you could just yeah, this show was it really needed some focus, to say the least. But there are some really good moments, mostly with Anakin and Padme. Like, there's this one scene where Anakin returns to Naboo, at least I think it's Naboo. They never explain where it is. And he and Padme are just together, and he reveals that he has a scar now on his eye, and she just touches his face, and it's really, really well done, and there's no dialogue, and I think this scene is implying that this is when Luke and Leia are made, just with how it ends. But yeah, there's a lot of cool moments. Like, I still say that the action's really good, if not extreme. There's also some really good, funny moments. Like when Coruscant is under attack and a hole is blown in the side of Padme's apartment, and C-3PO is just freaking out, and you can barely hear what he's saying, and Padme and eye patch guy, I don't know what his name is, and I really don't care to look it up, and they're just talking in the background all serious, and C-3PO, he just like wants to go and scold the battle droids, and that is just really well done. And another hilarious moment is when Anakin tells Obi-Wan about a sewer tunnel under a shield somewhere that they have been bombarding for months on end or something. And when they are done talking, Obi-Wan just has the most "I am so done with all of this shit" look on his face, and I love it. Yeah, now that I think about it, he has a lot of "I am so done with this," so it's just really, really fun to see how done he is with everything, because yeah, I think he's kind of at his wit's end with Anakin's bullshit. Honestly, there are a lot better cartoons out there, and some of them aren't really even canon. Like, I think the Lego Star Wars stuff is a lot better than this. It's still not that bad, although some of the character models look weird. Like, Qui-Gon Jinn has a massive nose, and it looks really weird, and Yoda has, like, this permanent scowl on his face, and yeah, there's just some weird moments with no context that I just don't like all that much. And it just kind of ruins the series a little bit. But it's still got some amazing animation, and it's was a really good introduction to Grievous, although I kind of wish that he did some of the spinny moves with the lightsabers and using his feet more in the Clone Wars cartoon, the other one. But I think they were restricted by budget for that because each episode was like $1 million to make, and that is a lot for a cartoon. And they already are doing a lot with that cartoon, so I can see why they had to tone down the action with Grievous a wee bit. But honestly, this is fine. Um, I give it that shaking hand gesture out of 10. But honestly, there are better cartoons, like I said. Just go watch the 3D animated show if you want to see Clone Wars. Also, I like the voice actor for the clones better. They just sound so robotic in this cartoon. It's just when you're used to hearing the guy who voices the clones in Clone Wars to the point where I think that they used them in the video games that have come out recently. Yeah, it's a little bit more iconic than say the who they have for the clones in this cartoon. That and I really don't like Anakin's voice actor either. I just can't stop hearing Matt Lerner's voice whenever he talks, even when it's like live action. Nothing against Aiden Christensen, by the way. If